for screws, we used the 2.5 inch cabinet screws, and for backup, I picked up this set of anchors for the screws out of this pack. So far, this is the second pack of screws and anchors. We've used the anchors for the 2.5 inch screws. So the screws are, we're going to have a bunch of leftover screws, and what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to use the anchors. Since I was able to, I wasn't able to get, I believe off of Amazon you might be able to get these anchors. I believe Nomad can give you direction on those. That's where we got this concept from. And I think he had a place on Amazon where he may have ordered the anchors by themselves. But readily at hand, these anchors were in the store, so I'm gonna use these with these screws on the inside. This is the method I'm gonna try for this build. As I'm looking at it at this point, most of the supporting structure is held up by this method, and I'm hoping that it will really add, I believe it's going to add extra strength to the structure of the build. And got everything on the bottom side. I went ahead and built the compartments. Although I haven't put although I have not put openings in or really decided what I'm dedicated for. I just had them in the ribble. I just had them drawn in on the original plan, so I went ahead and put them in. Now I'm gonna flip it back up so we can get back to the inside. Okay, and just to point out, all the oversized cuts, well, I'm not worried about them anymore, especially after working with foam for a couple days now. I'll just take and cut, fill, and keep it rolling. But I do love it when I have a nice, tight, clean fit. It's coming along. This here is the tub. Okay, this is going to be, make this a shelf over the extended 2-foot part at the front. And I'm starting to reclaim some of my foam so I can make sure I get the max use out of it all. And for this, I'll be using the liquid nails, paneling wood, and foam molding. We're going to see how it bonds. Although it says for interior construction, I guess this part will be more so on the inside. So we're going to give it a shot and see how it works. Pretty sure I'll be coming up with a different medium to do this, because to put the whole thing together like this is, one, it's probably going to become expensive, and two, it's pretty time consuming. It's going to be dealing a lot with cleanup. But we're going to see how this holds, and at the same time, using these tools, the liquid nail window and foam has been the cheapest, but I'll look at other alternatives as well. most part, I'm pretty satisfied with it. Give it a full time to cure. Okay, I have really enjoyed my punch hole saw, which is over there at the moment, but I picked this up just out the shed. I was messing around with something and decided to use it. I like this. It's less mess, cleaner cut, more precise cut. I'm more on the line. And like I said, number one is mess. I like this. It's less mess, cleaner cut, more precise cut. I'm more on the line. And like I said, number one is mess. Like I said, it's more precise cut, more on the line, and number one, less mess. And this is for hand cutting tools. I'm pretty sure you can get a blade for a jig and make it even quicker, but these are hand tools. Okay, here at the front, I'm cutting these slots in for my shelf. It's going to be 2 feet, and like I said, with most everything on this, it's not as much as I'm trying to square it, but I'm measuring. I'm doing measurements for my, try to keep it as equal and square as possible. And along with this shelf is measurements, and I'm cutting in this measurement, eyeballing and cutting. I got this here slot to cut in for the front. I'm going to get it cut, and hopefully we're going to see how it all lines up. Okay, going down my rabbit hole. I think I want to put a divider here, or more or less a support. Set my meantime refrigerator there. The sink here, stove, range. Mark this off at 2 feet. 24 inches. 1.5 takes up a good amount of room, but I'm gonna go. I am considering cutting this here top piece back, maybe flush, but at the same time, for the meantime, I'm going to leave it as it is. There's a little space on the gap in the back on the top part. The bottom turned out pretty good, but I'm learning to work with this stuff, so that's not going to be a problem. Okay, to try to give you a quick little glimpse of what's going on. Now see on the right, the brown boxes representing the refrigerator. There is where the sink, I'm thinking about putting the sink, and that's the stove, oven, range. Now I'm trying to decide which end to put the toilet shower cabinet. But this is where I am at the moment. Here I am just toying around with the cabinet for my sink. But right now I'm switching over. I'm cutting out holes where I'm going to put a shelf. I think I want to put a shelf in here. The sink will be here, and I believe the stove is here. But for the meantime, I know I'm going for a shelf here, so I'm going to go ahead and get it cut out and situated. Okay, I want to give a quick review of the liquid nail wood and foam molding. I'm not too sure if I'm going to be using it because it's been, I don't know how many days now since we put this together, and this here is down inside the area, and as you see, it is not curing at all. So at this point, I personally have to say liquid nail, wood and foam, bind two surfaces together at a seam has been a fail. I seem to have had some support, but you know, with it that wet, must have been the support of that little seam of Gorilla Glue holding it. But as far as liquid nail, wooden panel, molding, that it's a fail. If you have any reviews, if you used it and it worked better for you, make a comment. Let me know. I'm not being paid for any of this, so I can tell you how I really feel about it and how it's performing for me at this time during this project.